music out. All right. Sorry I was running late. I will apologize about that. Not realistically my fault. Yes, my fault. Don't get me wrong. My fault entirely. Not realistically my fault. Been a lot of rain here in the Houston area lately. And with a lot of rain comes a lot of dropped branches all throughout the yard. I've been picking them up. And picking them up. And picking them up. I finally got around to finishing picking them up. Just a second. My coffee's right here across the... Woo! Hey, look, I showed some leg there. That's as close as y'all are getting. B-Gnome, how's it going, sir? Howdy, Joe. So anyways, I was picking up freaking soggy branches in a soggy yard and just doing the little bit of chores and generalized stuff that you kind of have to do. Oh, and it's trash day, so you got to get all that stuff done. And well, when you got these big live oak trees and you get branches that die way up near the top, sometimes you're fishing them out of the tree for hours at a time. You don't have to believe me on that, but trust me, it's true. So here's an example of how much rain we've had. That is the plug I cut out of my cigar yesterday. It's been sitting here right where I would normally leave them to dry out a little bit so that I could add them to pipe tobacco all night. And all it has done is absorbed all the moisture and turned into a wet, nasty goo that I can't use at all. And most of the nicotine has actually spilled out along the tray, and oh, I'll be cleaning that up later too. Yay, so much fun. Howdy, Eddie. Great to have you on board. So just in case Martin shows up, somebody let him know. Here in the first 5 minutes, I'm going to show him how to open one of these from the back side again. Okay. There's a little flap here, just a little plastic flap. You pull up on that until that flap stands up straight. And then you work your fingers into the little notches there, kind of like an old school cardboard milk carton. But you pull both sides open until it makes basically a weird shaped X. Then you grab two sides opposite of each other, catty-cornered from each other, and you give them just a little tug. And then you turn it 90 degrees, you grab the other two sides, and you give that just a little tug. And it should open right up. Okay, so we can all see that that opened up pretty easily. And then you just, here at the bottom, let me show you this again. You just push up a little bit with the finger, and then you squeeze down a little bit. And as you squeeze down below the cigar, your cigar should just almost magically pop right on out of there. And just as simple as that, you can get your cigar to lift inside of your little plastic. Now, this is the trick that I use for when I'm going to cut it and then push it back inside the plastic for just a regular everyday carrying around. But as you can see, here's where I would normally tear it open. And then I would normally just kind of squeeze it out like that. No big deal. Now, well, TX, as I've told people many a times, I'm not gonna lie to you and say that it is the best cigar that you've ever had. It will not be the best cigar you've ever had. It is smooth and easy. And what I mean by smooth is you're not going to have a real harsh, there's not a lot of pepper. There's nothing major going on with the cigar. You'll get a little bit of chocolate, some nuttiness, a little bit of some earth, but it's not anything that's going to just completely cave in your senses. And what I mean by easy is normally the draw is very, very easy. You don't have to work on it to keep it lit. It's just a decent cigar at a decent price that flavor-wise I tend to enjoy. So I do smoke a lot of these. Quite literally, in fact, it was the first cigar that I truly found that really made me want to smoke more cigars. Now, I'll tell you that I've smoked cigars previous of this cigar coming out. But before this cigar came out, I was just like almost everybody else. If somebody somewhat important said they liked a certain cigar, I would go and try it, and I'd go, well, okay, it's a cigar. And if somebody who was really into cigars suggested a cigar, I would try it, and still I was just normally going, okay, it's a cigar. When I found the black market, though, I was by myself. I came across a really good deal on them, and the size is almost double this size, because I found the Gordos. Now, the shop that I was at was in the Seattle, Washington area, and because the new city ordinances that went through just about the same time they ordered them said that you could not smoke inside, and that you had to have a big enough area outside of your shop to fence that in if you were going to have a small smoking area outside. And it rains a lot, surprisingly, in the Seattle area. Gee, who knew that this would just almost kill the certain sizes of cigars? Well, that's a cute little corgi. Yeah, and there's a guy walking his dog. It's a corgi. They got little bitty legs and a whole lot of fur. It's like my cat, except for in dog form. So there I was, walked into this shop. I saw the Alec Bradley Black Market Gordo for $5. Normally $10. Fuck if I don't. I'll take one for $5. Went outside, lit up, sat around, smoked it, and I had those chocolates and vanillas and those things that remind me of bourbon, but good bourbon. Except for that burning sensation that I like with bourbon. And I thought, I really enjoyed this. Holy crap, I really enjoyed this. This is really the first cigar I've ever really enjoyed. Holy freaking cow, what in the hell? I've never had this experience before. So I went back inside and I bought the rest of that box. I think there were like 15 in the box when I started, so I took another 14. And I told him if he's got any of these in the back, go ahead and bring them up, so I'll just take them all. In that size. As long as he's willing to part with them for that price. And he was telling me, yeah, they just don't sell here because nobody wants to sit outside for 2 hours and smoke a cigar when you're probably going to get rained on. And I thought about it for a second and I said, you know what? It's fine, I'll take them. Well, he didn't have any more, but that's the reason I kind of really got to be in love with this cigar. I know, long story, but still. Smokey Dan, howdy, sir. Now, do I try to tell somebody that it's the best cigar you're ever going to have? No, because I've had better cigars. Will I ever turn one of these down? Hell no, I love this cigar. Ah, yes, that is the Romeo 505 Nicaragua hat. And look, I just showed off my ugly looking hair. It's a little sweaty right now because I was working in the yard earlier, as I already mentioned. Okay, the Tabernacle Havana Seed, much better cigar in my opinion. Better flavors, same qualities, roughly the same price. Much better cigar, in my opinion. But that's me also trying to tell you that I'm qualifying that by telling you I love this cigar anyways. Oh yeah, Foundation cigars are really nice. Don't get me wrong. Also, try the Southern Draw cigars. Probably the best Connecticut on the market, bar none, is the Rose of Sharon or the Desert Rose. Both of them are fantastic. I'm a Maduro guy. And if you told me that I could never smoke anything but Connecticut's, I would seriously go straight to the store and buy every one of the Rose of Sharon or the Desert Rose that I could find ever. Because that's all I would freaking smoke. You'd never see me smoking another cigar if I was told I could never smoke anything but Connecticut's. Now, because I have an option, I will dip into Connecticut's from time to time just to make sure that I'm still tasting what I'm tasting. But for the most part, that would be the only Connecticut I would actively go after. The issue with that Connecticut personally is that it's too complex for the average first timer. A first timer, I'm going to turn them on to a Perdomo Champagne. Or we're going to walk them over to the Fuentes. Yeah, like the 585 or the curly head. might go into the Monte Cristos. Camacho wouldn't be bad. Um, and the Leaf by Oscar, that Connecticut, not bad at all. Especially if you're a pipe smoker, the Leaf by Oscar is probably one of your best possible cigars because it comes wrapped up in a full-size cigar leaf. And you take that cigar leaf, you put it into, which Connecticut am I talking about? I'm just talking about if I had to turn a beginner onto some Connecticut cigars, where I would take them, because I feel that the Rose of Sharon it's very complex. It's got a lot of flavor. It will ruin anybody for all other Connecticut's. And then you expect Connecticut's to be that good, and they're just not. The Undercrown Shade is not a bad option. As far as the Leaf by Oscar, I always try to suggest that to pipe smokers because you take that big cigar leaf that it's wrapped up in, you take some scissors and chop that up into any blend that you happen to be smoking and enjoying. And I'm going to tell you right now, you get a nice cigar blend and you get a nice cigar. It's a way to maximize your enjoyment of that particular cigar. It's nice and easy to do. Barbecuing and listening. Oh my God. No, not Martin. I'm figuring he's probably hangovering and listening. By the way, Martin, you forgot Sharon last night in your award show. Howdy, Sharon. Though I will say that as far as Hot Wife awards, I think you were dead on. Okay, any pipe blends that you want to try a little bit of a cigar leaf added to it, I would highly recommend that. Now, there is a spider on my glasses. Ugh. Some people would freak out about that. Oh, by the way, howdy, Boris. Huva ilta, Boris. Also, Paul, howdy, sir. So, if you just have any kind of, if you have any kind of a pipe blend that you want to try it with that touch of cigar, the Leaf of Oscar, or Leaf by Oscar, it's got this big leaf. One of these days I'm going to get one. I'm going to unwrap it right in front of everybody just so you can understand what I'm talking about here, because it's a little difficult to show you unless I have one to show you. But the cigars are good anyways. Just as a cigar, the Leaf by Oscar cigar setup is really nice. The Maduro is good, the Sumatra is good, the Corojo is good, and the Connecticut is good. So I have no problem suggesting those cigars to people. But like I said, let's say that you've got PZQ blend, because I don't know of any PZQ blend. Okay, that's the reason I'm choosing those three letters. You have PZQ blend, and you're just like, man, you know what? This might be nice with a little bit of cigar leaf in it. You chop up that little bit of cigar leaf that comes with it, and you put a little bit in there, and you sprinkle it into your pipe, and you were just like, hey, you know what? There we go. A burley blend, yeah. The only thing I would not suggest doing it to is an aromatic, because it's going to get you basically to that infused cigar that you never really wanted anyways. It's easier to suggest what not to add it to than to specifically say what I would add it to. I'd add it to anything, really, as long as it doesn't have a super strong aromatic. I mean, I'm not going to add it to Autumn Evening, because cigar leaf and pancake just does not sound appealing to me. But I would add it to a Balkan blend. Oh, God. Balkan blends with a little bit of cigar leaf added in? Premium. Part of the problem for me, though, is that I can't tell the difference between a high-quality Balkan blend and a baseline, bottom-of-the-barrel Balkan blend. I can't taste the difference. But you know that little bit of sweetness that always comes through on the Balkan blends? It's not aromatic, it's just a natural tobacco sweetness. You know what I'm talking about. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Well, that with a little bit of cigar leaf added in is just really a nice feel. The whole experience of it, just, it goes together. It reminds me of, well, the Amazon Basin from CAO. And if you've never had the Amazon Basin, you're missing out. Personally, Paul, I am doing excellent. It got a little soggy here and I had to do some extra work around the house, but other than that, no big deal. But yeah, so if you start thinking about what you like in cigars, you want a little bit of that natural sweetness and some certain notes, whether it be the chocolates or vanillas, or you like hay or earth, or a creaminess. And if you find a pipe blend that hits almost all of those notes, but it's missing that cigar quality that you tend to enjoy, that's when you go get that Leaf by Oscar. You've got a premium quality cigar that you can enjoy. Or you can unwrap it, put it in the humidor, and take that leaf and you can chop it up into that pipe blend that you've been enjoying, and you'll have that cigar quality that you might have been looking for. Well, creamy, smooth, and tasty. The Alec Bradley Black Market will hit almost all of that. There are better options out there. Don't get me to tell you that this is the only cigar that's going to do it for you. No, not going to happen. But Paul, you do like a really strong cigar, so I would suggest you would also prefer a Maduro but one that doesn't have so much pepper that you're going, oh my God, but something that's going to be nice and smooth, easy to take without it breaking the pocket also. And that's where I think this cigar really comes through for you, or at least would come through for you. Yes, it is actually called the Black Market. And that's the Alec Bradley symbol right there. Hey, I got it to show up. Yay. The Roma Craft Grow Magnums are really nice. Now, here's something I want you to try with the Roma Craft if you get into those. When you first cut the Roma Craft, if you have the black labeled ones, and I do mean the ones that are black labeled, not the ones that are brown with black wording, but black. You get the ones with the black label, and when you cut it, do a cold draw. Now, I came across this by accident, but the cold draw, what a cold draw is, before you light the cigar, go ahead and take a draw. Do a good, nice pull through. Make sure you got a good air opening for it. You should be doing this with any cigar anyways. But with the Cro-Magnon specifically, you will get plums. It will be very much like Perique. You will be able to taste that plummy Periqueness. But as soon as you light that cigar, that plums is gone like a virgin on prom night. By the way, Martin, in case you're going to use that, that's at 28 minutes more or less. Something that makes you hit the moon on strength, yet creamy, smooth, and lots of flavor. Okay, Paul, there is a cigar line called Punch, and you want to get the Diablo. Well, make sure to type this in. The Punch Diablo is like moonshine. When you're sitting there just enjoying the hell out of it, kicked back and relaxing, Crosby Corner, howdy sir. Great to have you in today. So when you are sitting back enjoying the Punch Diablo, it is smooth, inviting, just a lot of flavor, just a great cigar all the way across, and not expensive. That's great. But at least for me, when I went to stand up, I stood up and then sat right back down because it convinced me that I wasn't ready yet. Now, I've had strong cigars. I know what they normally will do to me. I know what it feels like. I know where I'm going with that. So when I got that, and it did that to me, the next time I decided that this is the perfect cigar for a rocking chair and about 2 fingers of bourbon, because I can have that bourbon in one hand and that cigar in the other, and I can enjoy one and a sip and go back to smoking and enjoying. And then when I'm done, I'd still got maybe a little bit of sipping that I can do. but I won't be wanting to just hop up out of the chair and get going. It's got a sneaky strength that about the same time you try to stand up, it will tell you to sit back down. Now, just because this is technically a tailgate, bowl call, as y'all already know, I am smoking the Alec Bradley Black Market Robusto. It tends to be one of my more favored sticks for just about any time. Crosby's, I'm going to tell you straight out, useless tube, they've been doing that to a lot lately. In fact, I went through about a week ago and I must have resubbed 16 channels that I know I had subbed. And 3 of those channels, I had actually had the notification bell and all of that done. So it was like, why are they removing this from my list? Crown Heads Las Calaveras. It's a decent cigar. I did not really like the 2020, but if you can ever find a box of 14s or 16s, you buy those. Oh my God, do you buy those? Trust me on that one. Just finished an Oliva Series V, very good cigar. Really kind of like that one. All right, so if you're agreeing with me on the the 2018 was actually pretty damn good. Uh, but the 17 was the worst one, period. The 17 was just straight out trash. And I mean, I used to not be able to say that because I worked at a cigar shop and it was, you're trying to sell these cigars anyways. You know what I kept telling people was, I think with another year of age, it's going to be excellent. But right now, it just seems a little bit unrefined. I wasn't telling anybody, oh my God, it was horrible. It was. But I wasn't telling people that. The 15 wasn't all that great either. And I'm a huge fan of the Los Calaveras lineup. Don't get me wrong. I try them every year. But the 14 and the 16 was the tops. The 18 was third. And everything else has been a little suspect. But that's because they change the blend every year. Oh, man. Crowned Heads makes an excellent cigar. There's the Yellow Rose, which is supposed to be only sold in Texas, but it's not. There's the Buckeye, which is supposed to only be sold in Ohio, but it's not. Their whole Las Calaveras lineup is. Uh-oh. Steph might be coming back to the Woodlands. Oh, and for any of y'all who are wondering, yes, that is the Woodlands, not just Woodlands. You'll not have to trust me on that, but trust me on that. Smokey Dan, you are welcome to come back anytime I'm on. Swear to it. We're just going to sit around, have fun, talk about stuff, and hopefully get along until the next show shows up. Oh, by the way, Steph's show's going to be on just in a little bit. So if you're really busy, you're going to have to catch it on reruns. It's an excellent show. I would definitely, not miss it. Oh yeah. So if anybody's looking for Woodlands, Texas, and you don't put the space Woodlands, you won't find it. It's actually got the space Woodlands as its official title. It's in between Houston and Conroe. And go! I know everybody's going to Google it right now. But I'm telling you, I'm pretty excited that Steph and Skip might be coming back to this chunk of Texas. I used to inspect the boilers at the Conroe ISD. The bike paths are pretty damn good. Yes, that's correct. The Paul, yes, that sounds about correct, and that's actually a American price also. So if that's what you're getting them for over there, I would definitely give that a shot. Oh yeah, Crosby's. I'm right there with you. I am not a good golfer. Ever since I shattered a kneecap, I can't do it. It's not going to work. Oh, they would have to send it to the UK. Ugh, that might be a little difficult then. Oh, yes, quite close. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, I do claim Houston, but I live on the extreme south side of Houston. In fact, I live in Galveston County. But when you tell somebody Galveston, there's a little wasp flying around. I might have to swat the hell out of it. If you tell somebody Galveston, they think of just that island. If you tell somebody Houston, they think of this huge chunk of an area of Texas that is the Houston area. And if you tell somebody Friendswood, which is where I actually live, they go, where? Well, Boris, if you know when to drive and where you're going, traffic is not terrible in Houston. You obviously want to avoid rush hour, which should be renamed to rush 8 hours of every day, because it's 4 hours worth in the morning and 4 hours worth in the afternoon. And about 30 minutes worth during lunchtime. But other than that, knowing where you're going, knowing all the pig trails, and by pig trails, I'll reiterate this. Every dirt path, sidewalk that's big enough to drive down, surface street that might have stoplights all over it or stop signs all over it, side paths that get you there that might almost double your mileage, but it will half your time. Knowing all of that it's essential to living in the Houston area. Having a Garmin or GPS that actually tells you that, oh crap, there's bad traffic ahead, is not a bad idea. But for those of us who are basically natives to the Houston area, you should just go ahead and about every once a month take a drive into a section that you haven't been. Just make sure that you check up on it first and make sure that it's not going to be into a really bad neighborhood. And don't try to drive it in the middle of the night. Find it on a Saturday at about 1:30 in the afternoon. Just search out those side streets. Figure out, does anything go through here? You'll be surprised. Most of Houston is actually really connected. There's probably 40 or 50 ways to get anywhere. But you got to know what you're doing and where you're going. And, well, you kind of have to know about where you're at also. If I'm telling you how to get someplace, you can pretty much guarantee it's going to be one of the best things. Boris, it's extremely forested in the woodlands. In fact, almost every store, shop, or whatever is behind a curtain of bushes and trees. Oh yeah. Side streets during heavy traffic, everybody's stuck on the freeway going 2 miles an hour, and you go down 3 blocks over and you're 18 miles away from the traffic and you're where you're wanting to go. If you can cut your time by half or better, then it's worth it. What are you doing sitting on the freeway? Nothing. It's not like you can text or do anything with YouTube or talk to people other than cussing at people. Houston traffic cussing is pretty much an Olympic sport. Especially about 59 and 610. Trust me on that one. 59, 610, yeah. You will get very, very familiar with how many cuss words you know. I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. Trust me on this. I don't need to convince you of nothing. Come visit. You'll find out. Certain times of day, I can get on city streets and I can go all the way across Houston, which is about 60 miles, faster than if I got up on the freeway. And people think I'm lying. But I know all the side streets, I know all the back routes, I know those alleys that are clear, and I know where the cops are going to be. Hey Boris, you should see some of those pics during Harvey and Allison. You've never seen anything worse than that kind of water. Oh yeah, Houston's worst drivers on YouTube. Think about it. It's a channel. It's a channel with that many subscribers. And there's people out there in the world that think that it's a lie. But because I've lived in Houston, when I go to other cities and I hear them talking about, oh my God, the traffic is horrible, I just laugh. Unless it's Chicago, Los Angeles, or New York City, it ain't bad traffic. Well, Boris, during Allison and Harvey, there was more water everywhere than it was possible to comprehend. And about once a year, we have some sort of just regular rain event that is ridiculous. Oh, yeah. See, like one time I was in Little Rock, Arkansas for work, and one of the regulars, or the people that lives there, the natives, they said, "Oh my God, traffic is so bad out there," and I was like, "Where?" And they were like, "Look, it's right out there," and I was like, "I should take you to Houston to let you see that." They were just like, "Huh?" They couldn't believe that what they were describing as bad traffic, I was describing as, man, that's freaking awesome. I love that traffic. Let me loose. Now, traffic in London, horrible. But the farther away you get from London, the nicer it gets. Suddenly you open up onto roadways where it's almost like there's no speed limit at all. You just haul ass. Keep up with traffic. That's all you got to do. Having to kill a spider. This one decided to come up and say hi. And he was a bit bigger than I thought he was going to be. But luckily, I threw a knife at him and it killed him. Yes, I actually can throw a knife that well. Oh, yes, yeah. Dead serious. Oh, come on. I'm not mean. I just don't like to get bit by that same damn spider. And I'm not going to bite him back. Howdy, Odie. How you doing? By the way, where is Hello Kitty Piper today? Say hi for us if she's there with you. Ah, doing estimates while it's raining. Well, I've been bit by one or two spiders out here, and sometimes I can get to them fast enough to kill them, and sometimes I can't. And the ones that hang out on this chair that I normally sit on, or this little area right here where I'm sitting, those those have lived their usefulness. They're asking to die. I oblige them. She's at a bachelorette party. That sounds like you have the day off then. Howdy, DDT. Great to have y'all in. I'm really happy for the fact that we're all going to be able to jump over to Steph's channel here in just a couple minutes. being that she's about 4 minutes out, more or less. Hey, Steph, just give me a little bit of notice as soon as you think you're going to go start. That way I can make sure to wrap this up. The humidity out today is a little bit over 100%. And it's not raining. Let's just say that the air is thick enough that you could cut it with a machete and it would be like the T-1000. It just goes right back together. Howdy, Cliff. Great to see you, sir. I mean, it's like all my friends are coming over all at the same time. I know, it's so that we can all head over to El Paso. I'm not worried. It's just all part of the fun. England versus Italy tomorrow in the European finals. Well, I'm going to have to cheer for England on that one. Not that I dislike Italy, but I like England a little more than Italy. Does that count? Oh. Hey, Cliff, you missed me talking about Arkansas. Oh, yeah, I talked trash about people in Little Rock. Don't worry, I fully accept that. Steph's going to cheer for Italy. Ganjawana, howdy, sir. Great to have y'all in today. Oh, Cliff, you know, it's just when people in Arkansas want to talk trash about traffic, and I look out there and I'm going like, what traffic? Of course, I compare traffic to Houston traffic. You have to be in some major, huge city that has completely horrible public transit to have worse traffic than Houston. Oh, this is an Alec Bradley Black Market. Just a Robusto. But it's lasting pretty well, huh? I might stretch this into a 2-hour stick, surprisingly. But it's not too hard to do if you're chatting and talking. Okay, so Steph says she is a minute out, which means she has her setup ready to go. I would like to remind y'all, everybody, do your best at taking care of each other, but make sure to take care of yourselves. You can't take care of anybody else if you do not take care of yourself. Trust me on that one. I'm not taking care of anybody when I'm down with a kidney stone. I'm barely hoping to live. In fact, there's times where I'm thinking, just kill me. And as per always, I would always like to remind y'all are always welcome here. I am a little rough around the edges. I will say some things that might offend people. I don't apologize about that. I do warn you about it. I just don't apologize about it. And as per always, let's all remember, long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. Y'all take care, and I will see you over on Steph's channel, which should be starting, about now. Y'all take care, and I will see you soon.